Hey everybody, I'm Jacob, and in today's video we are going to go over my dividends from the month of August. Now August I got paid out from 10 different companies and it was my second best month overall. I'm expecting next month to be even better, but this month was a huge surprise. Now before we get into my dividends, I just want to give you a quick overview of my portfolio. As it stands, it sits at $9,920.97. Now, as of this recording, it is actually still a live trading day, so you may see this go up or down, hopefully up, but I think it's been a little volatile the last few days. So I started this portfolio back in late January of 2020, and I invested about $2,000 around that time. And my goal was to invest at least $500 at the end of each month. At least $500 because I want to keep that portfolio growing. And luckily, I have been able to maintain that goal. Some months I even invest $1,000. It just depends how much I can save, how many bills I have, etc. But the $500 goal has remained consistent, and because of that, I have been able to increase my dividends each and every month. So I started with $2,000 back in January, and of course we had the coronavirus. It really crashed the market back in early March, so that was pretty devastating to see. But with my long-term investing strategy, I did not panic. I just continued to invest more and more money. I knew I'd be getting better deals around this time, so I tried to invest as much as I could. And as you can see with this value over time chart on the M1 Finance homepage, my portfolio has increased mainly due to me investing monthly, but the market has actually picked back up as well. And right now I am in the green about $440. So that's just a quick overview. Now let's get into my dividend income for the month of August. So my first dividend in the month of August was from AT&T. I got paid out a total of $2.16. Now AT&T is a stock that I've had since early February, and quite honestly it has performed quite poorly. If we go over to my portfolio here and go in the telecom, it has a negative 13.81% return. Not so great, but AT&T is known for paying a pretty good dividend. They have an annual yield of 7%, which is actually quite high. So right now with AT&T, I own about 6.75 shares. Another reason I love M1 Finance, they do allow you to purchase fractional shares, which is great, especially for companies that have quite high stock valuations such as Apple, Tesla, Amazon. M1 Finance allows you to invest in those companies for a fraction of the price. So with $2.16 from AT&T, the next dividend I have received in the month of August is from Apple. I got paid out a whopping 85 cents. Apple is a company that I've held from day one because I really believe in the product. I really believe in the company. Now, as a tech company, Apple doesn't pay a very high dividend. In fact, right now their yield is about 0.68%. Now, in my portfolio, I try and aim for companies that have a yield of around 3%, but Apple is one of those exceptions where I will take their growth more so than their dividend. But luckily, they do pay dividends. So in this month, I got paid 85 cents, and that brings my total up to $3.01. Now, the next dividend I got paid out is from Realty Income Corp, ticker symbol O, and I got paid $1.50, bringing my total up to $4.51. And not only does it have a monthly cash flow in the form of dividends, it's actually a pretty good company to hold. Their stock has been increasing for quite some time. They invest in commercial real estate for companies like Walgreens. So if you see a Walgreens in your hometown, there's a pretty good chance that that building Walgreens is in is actually owned by Realty Income Corp, and they rent it out to a company like Walgreens, for example. Now, the next dividend I got was from AbbVie. This is a pharmaceutical company. They also have a pretty good dividend at 5.14%, and they have paid me out $1.53, bringing my total dividend income to $6.04. Next company I got paid a dividend from is from Colgate. You probably know them from their toothpaste, their toothbrushes, etc. They paid me a dividend of 96 cents. Now, this is a company I've pretty much had since day one, mainly due to the fact that they are a dividend aristocrat. Not only have they been paying dividends for 31 years, they have been increasing their dividends for 31 years. Colgate is a pretty solid company. They've seen pretty stable growth for quite some time. A company that I definitely am long on. Coming up next, I got 38 cents from Costco. Now, everyone loves Costco because you can buy a large amount of groceries for a pretty cheap price. It's a really good recession-proof stock because everyone needs the basic essentials. And the best part is when the economy is down and people don't have a lot of money to spend, they want to find the best deals. And to be quite honest, the best deals you can find when it comes to groceries, consumer products, are at places like Costco. So in general, I would say Costco is definitely more of a growth stock. Let's check it out here, actually. So going into my consumer pie, where I have a lot of these similar companies, we'll click on Costco. Now, Costco has performed quite well for me since I've had it. I'm up 16.73%. It has a dividend yield currently of 0.76%. So not the greatest dividend yield. As I said earlier, I'm sort of aiming for that 3% dividend yield, but I know that Costco is a very good recession-proof stock, so it gives me that diversification that I like. It sort of balances out my portfolio. So if we just go on the details of Costco and we just click on the last 5 years, we can see that the overall price of the Costco stock has performed quite well. You know, going back 5 years, this was valued at about $145, and right now it's all the way up to $347. So that's a pretty nice return in that short time frame. In fact, within 5 years, you can see here that it's returned about 113%, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. But once again, you're not going to be expecting a huge return in the form of dividends. They just don't pay a very high dividend, but they are very good for growth. So my next holding that paid me dividends, and this is a big one. This is National Retail Properties Incorporated, ticker symbol NNN. They have paid me $5.51. Now, National Retail Properties is similar to Realty Income Corp, but they do not pay a monthly dividend. NNN pays a quarterly dividend, but they invest in sort of the same style of properties. Now, if we just go over to the NNN website, we can see the portfolio of properties that they do invest in. Some of these companies I've heard of, some of them I have not. But this is essentially what they do. They invest in more of the commercial real estate and they collect monthly rent from these businesses. And anytime you have a REIT, I would highly recommend going to their actual website and checking out what their portfolio is. Because I know REITs are a very, very hot topic right now, mostly due to their high dividend yield. But when it comes to investing, I think that a dividend yield is not the only thing that you should be looking at. You should be looking at what is the future going to be like in 5, 10, 15, 20 years for these companies. What's their historic stock price? What is their current portfolio of holdings, etc., etc. So there are a lot of different indicators. So don't just watch a YouTube video and be hyped up on one REIT, for example. I mean, you should definitely do your research. So after National Retail Properties, this brings my portfolio income from the month of August up to a total of $12.89. All right, my next income comes from Procter and Gamble. They paid me a dividend of $1.29, bringing my total up to $14.18. Now, similar to Colgate, they don't have the greatest dividend yield. They actually have a yield of 2.29%, but they've been a solid company for a long time. They've been increasing their dividends for 31 consecutive years. Just another solid company that I wanted to add to my portfolio to sort of balance things out. So when I invest in more volatile companies that pay a higher yield, I can count on Procter and Gamble to be that consistent company in my portfolio that won't fluctuate as much. It might pay me a lower dividend yield, but overall I can count on the stability of this holding. Now my next dividend payout was from Caterpillar, ticker symbol CAT, and this one I got paid 43 cents, bringing my total dividend income from the month of August to $14.61. I think anytime that you think of construction machinery, you think of CAT. So a very dependable brand, very dependable company. I love having CAT in my portfolio. They do pay out quarterly, and this month they paid me 43 cents. So my next holding is one that I look forward to every single month because they are a monthly paying dividend ETF, and that is SPHD. Now, SPHD holds about 50 of the highest dividend yielding companies on the S&P 500. Overall, they haven't performed too well for me. If we go into the portfolio here, go into my ETF pie. So currently SPHD is down about 6.69%, but I do hold 23.39 shares, and that pays me a monthly dividend of about $3 right now. So every month I can depend on SPHD to pay me $3, and that is awesome. I love the monthly dividend cash flow. Now my last dividend income for the month of August is from LTC Properties. I got paid 93 cents, bringing my grand total to $18.57. Now a little bit on LTC here. They invest in real estate for elderly people. You can think of nursing homes and things like that. I think it's a pretty niche industry to be in, to hold real estate more so for the elderly. So that's why I like to invest in LTC. And this month they paid me 93 cents. As I said, bringing my total portfolio up to $18.57. Now, if I record this on my dividend graph here, it is a very nice addition to my upward trending dividend growth. You know, I started investing back in late January of 2020. I didn't see any dividends that month. So this is really awesome to see, starting a dividend of $4.45 for the month of February, but then coming to August and seeing $18.57. That is pretty amazing in my opinion. And as you can see, this isn't a ton of money, right? Like, I'm not making $1 million. I'm not really making a lot of money to live off of, but it's definitely a start. And that's really all I can say about this, is that you don't need a ton of money to begin investing, especially with platforms like M1 Finance, where they do let you invest in those fractional shares. So for example, if you want to invest in Amazon, but you don't have $3,000 to purchase a share of stock, you can purchase a share of Amazon for a fraction of the price because you'll get a fraction of the share. Now, I'll just show you, for example, in my portfolio here. Why is M1 Finance a great fit? Well, number one, as I said, you can invest in those fractional shares. So if I go into my tech pie here, you can see that I have invested in Amazon, and even Tesla for that matter. On Amazon, I invested $73.93. So I don't need $3,000 to purchase an entire share. In fact, right now, the current share price is $3,163, and I own 0.02245 shares of Amazon. So while I don't have all that money to invest, I do have a little money to invest, and I can still ride along with the success that Amazon is having right now. So that's one reason why I love M1 Finance. Also, it allows me to see my portfolio allocation in an easier way. So I set my M1 Finance portfolio up to how I prefer to do it. So I have like a ETF pie, real estate pie, finance, consumer, healthcare. I set them all like this. And then I set my target holding to a certain percentage that I'm comfortable with. So for example, ETFs, I have 20% of my portfolio, real estate 15%, finance 15%, etc. So it allows me to easily see which industry is doing well from my holdings, and then I can allocate as necessary. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to show you my dividend income from the month of August. As I said, $18.57 is what I got paid this month in dividends, and next month I expect it to be even better, so stay tuned. And as always, spend time doing what you love, make money, preserve time, and stay inspired. Thank you.